SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, $200 a month, $2,400 over a year, plus that 20% increase. And that new benchmark, different than COLA. What happened to it? What's the update on it? What can you push for? Where could it land? Could it be by executive order or could it be by a standalone bill? I have all the updates across the board as this show, which you asked for, returns for its second day. The SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad Benefits show here on the Noontime of LA Late. Let's get to it on LA Late. You know, SSI and SSDI was supposed to be in that bill, and it didn't land in there. So what do we think? Where is it, and why is it not in there? And what else should we wonder about? Well, there's a path, and the path may start next week. And where and what are the developments? This is LA. How are you? You know, SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, first came to fruition as a bill in March of 2020. Elizabeth Warren, Senator, Democrat, Massachusetts, wrote a bill, and she introduced it to the Senate. It had all three provisions that have become the focal point of SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits, that I will refer to collectively as SSI and SSDI. It became the focal point in March of 2020. She introduced it to the Senate as the pandemic was hitting, got the support from Chuck Schumer, but obviously with Mitch McConnell as your majority leader at the time, it would never be called for a vote. And then it died. The bill ended as the session ended. The way Senate works is that if you introduce a bill, when the Senate session's over, the bill is over. It cannot be brought back to life. This is what's important to understand. I've seen some strange narratives elsewhere where people have talked about this bill as your new, second coming. No, the bill's dead. The bill can't come back to life. Now, what you can do is take that bill from your computer, from your word processing system, open it up, change the date, and then reintroduce it as a new bill in 2021. Give it a new number, Senate bill number this, introduce it, and call it for a vote. It's literally that simple. You take the bill that's already on your computer, change the date, give it a new Senate number, introduce it to the Senate, have Chuck Schumer support it, call it for a vote, or rally support before you call for a vote, and then you're off to the Senate, to the House. And then you're off to the president, who said he wanted to give you this. It's not a particularly difficult concept. It's so straightforward. The most complicated thing in this entire process is, can you get enough votes for it? But we haven't even started that point. That's what's a little strange as we sit here this afternoon on Noontime. Hey, who's in the room? There's Shanta, and there's Mary. We love you, Allie. I love you back. You have worked so hard for us. Thank you. I appreciate it. And this is very straightforward. There's Lynn, and there's Donna. How are you? There's Jim E, and then Charlotte, and there's Alma. It's very straightforward to how to do it by a Senate bill. They did last year, just do it again. Now, some viewers who are on SSI and SSDI may wonder, well, wait a second, why did Elizabeth Warren introduce that $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness bill, which was a prior bill as well, introduced it a few weeks ago with Chuck Schumer and didn't introduce this one? And why did she sit back when Cory Booker out of New England introduced that $1,000 baby bill and she co-signed that, but didn't do this one? There's a lot of questions surrounding the situation. Hey, Cecilia. Hi, Jim. Hey, American Pharaoh. How are you? Leanne. Yeah, she skipped it. Hey, I won my unemployment. Tina, congratulations. Everyone congratulate Tina. There's Christina again in the room. And there's Alicia. How are you? Sean, 200. Amen. So we see the bill. It's just so obvious. But if Elizabeth Warren doesn't want to do her bill for whatever reason we don't understand, is there another path? There is. Executive order. Executive order is just so obvious. Why? Because there's 3 provisions in there, none of which need Congress's approval. You know, you need Congress approval when you're sending out money for Treasury. Well, if the money's not coming from Treasury, then you don't need Congress approval. Push, 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 says Donna with the super chat. Thank you, Donna, for the super chat. Hey, Alicia. Congratulations, Tina. Congratulations, Lorena. Lorena, congratulations, Tina. It's very simple how to do this. And executive order could address all 3 of the provisions, or at least 2 of the provisions, or at least 1 of the provisions. What are the provisions? 1, tying benefits to increases annually to something different than COLA. You don't need a law for that. You don't need a law for that. The Social Security Administration could just issue a memorandum saying we're just changing our benchmark. There's no law that says they have to tie it to COLA that I am aware of. And even if there was, the president could do this by a memorandum. I don't even think he needs an executive order. He could just do an executive memorandum, which basically says I instruct Social Security to tie it to CPIE. Done with number 1 in the 3-item list. Number 2, raising benefits based upon up to 20% lifetime based upon some events. That is not a bill. That doesn't need act of Congress. We're not sending out money from Congress. Understand the Social Security system is already funded. So we're not asking for more money to come out from Congress to go to you. We're asking for them to use the money they have there now to go to you. Simple? It is simple. So that increase of benefits up to 20%, we're not taking money out of the Treasury to do that. That's just using the money that's there. And again, how do you do it? Executive order. Executive order. It's not even almost an executive order. It's a memorandum. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like everything else we've heard of the last few months. On January 20th, the president instructed Department of Agriculture to increase benefits by 15%. This is what the president has done for SNAP. He has increased SNAP for 15%. You can also increase SSI for 15%. He has increased eligibility for SNAP or PEBT to make it national when it was not national, and to do it retro back to August. You can do this SSI increase and do it retro back to January. He has said that children under 6 should be included. He can change benefits to include a group that normally may not be included. These are things he can do. The question is when and where. The big question is when and where. And that's why next week may be a big issue. Next week, the Democratic caucus is held, a conference headed by Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat out of New York, co-chaired by a Californian here whose name is Pete Aguilar, Democrat out of the House. Aguilar and Jeffries, and they want to hear new legislation. This is new legislation. So this is where the push of SSI, SSDI, Social Security should be among the other places to push. Yes, you want to push Elizabeth Warren to reintroduce her bill. You also want to push for executive order. You also want to push for Hakeem Jeffries and Aguilar to get this on the agenda. You also want to see what is the agenda for that conference. Who are the speakers? It's basically a conference with a lot of speakers externally and internally brought in. Thank you, Lynn. May God bless you all. And this is where the push needs to come because it's not in the third stimulus check bill. Biden said these things. We got that. Amen, Jerry. I love Jerry's comment, but we got to get past what they said. We need to start getting them to doing it. We have heard, we know there was a promise. We know the promise has been not upheld. This is Purple Power. The viewers of this channel are purple. We need to step up and now get it pushed somewhere. Elizabeth Warren, one route. Another route, the caucus next week. Another route, executive order. You need to push with as many places you can push, calling them up on the phone, speaking them directly. This is how you get things done. Thank you for the super chat, Alicia. Wow, really very kind. There's, tweeting and Facebook posting is one thing. Calling them up on the phone is another. You got to keep on pushing for the SSI and SSDI, says Lynn Glenn. I just pushed that like button, says Leanne McCoy. I appreciate it. Let's get pushy with it, says Sean. I just wish our government had brains like you, L8. I wish they listened to you. Well, there's a way you can do it, Jerry. Thank you for the nice comment, Jerry. You can just take this video and tag the politicians with it and then show them this video and say, hey, this is very simple. And my promise to you is that if you get a politician's staffer on the phone that's responsive, tell me, send me a DM on Twitter or Instagram. Tell me, and then tomorrow's show, I will tell other viewers to come in and do the same. It's sort of like, it is the basis of grassroots effort. We start with A and we go to B. And that's how we can get this done. This is how we can get this done as a family. The push for SSI and SSDI is far from over. If anyone can do it, it can be this community. Need to subscribe. Need to hit that subscribe button. Tell people on SSI and SSDI, come on in. This is a channel that has a show dedicated just to you. Tell them to come on in. Take this video, share, like, subscribe, become part of this community, because this is the push to get it pushed. You want it done in a professional, educated, smart way, and we as a group can do that. I'm back with you with so much. We're at the top of the hour. You know what that means? My goodness. It's time for Afternoons L8. The final 2 hours of this channel. 2 more hours to go. Afternoons L8 kicks in. It's 1 o'clock. From 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Everyone ready? I'm ready. Let's get ready to rock and roll as Noontime wraps up, and we're going into Afternoons L8.
From LA Late News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LA Late.